All right, I will go ahead and get this kicked off as people start trickling in. Thank you so much. Michelle McCormick here. I'm with Evotech, and I work very closely with our labs team. Our labs team who kicked off this amazing track and doing this conference all geared around emerging tech. We look at about 50 to 60 different technology solutions every year that pertain to my practice, which is voice, video, contact center messaging, and connectivity. One of the leaders in this emerging tech space, which I'm happy to bring forward today as our sponsor for this track, is Dialpad. Dialpad is a solution that provides all the things I just mentioned in a singular platform. They also have layered it with AI and are doing some really great things in the marketplace. With us today, we have John Hackett, who's the director of channel communications at Dialpad. And then we have Dan. Dan has been in the industry for over 10 years in telecom, working for some of the biggest names like Spectrum, Lumen, and others. And so I'm going to let them go ahead and kick off their track, share a little bit about their company, and hopefully y'all find some value out of that, and looking forward to the discussion. If you do have any chats or questions or anything like that, go ahead and throw it into the side and we'll go ahead and get started. Dan, the floor is yours.
You want me to kick off here, Dan? Just a little bit about Dialpad, our past, our background.
Absolutely.
Dialpad started 12 years ago. Yesterday was our actual anniversary. We were started and founded by Craig Walker, who was one of the creators of Google Voice. Our major investors are Google Ventures, Iconic, T-Mobile. We have several large customers in different verticals. Motorola, who's on 18,000 licenses today, Netflix, WeWork, Uber, some big names in the tech space. We have a tremendously talented C-level team. One recent addition was our CFO, Mike Curry, who was at Salesforce prior, was on the pre-IPO boards of Okta, Aruba, RingCentral, Riverbed, and actually employee number 7 at Polycom. So Craig Walker's vision when he created Dialpad was to be able to communicate on any device, any platform, anywhere. Our own proprietary platform is built on GCP, Google Cloud Platform, and we integrate with a host and variety of different applications, tremendous integration with Microsoft Teams, Salesforce, Google Workspace, and a variety of different others with our open APIs. Our main products include Dialpad Talk, which is the business phone license for general users. We have Dialpad Meet, our video conferencing, which is included with every application. We have Dialpad Sell, which is an outbound sales tool for outbound call centers with advanced coaching and analytics. So we can get into some of our real-time assist coaching cards with Dan. He'll show you how that works. And we have Contact Center for inbound, outbound call centers for agents with extensions. We have AI digital self-service, so you can message with the virtual agents, and also omni-channel where you can communicate via any platform, whether that's Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, with all your customers based on how they choose to communicate. So we can let Dan kick it off with a demo just about our contact center and AI features and what makes us unique.
Absolutely. So I assume y'all can see my screen at this point, right? I was doing a little presentation there, but right now I should have the Dialpad application up. So yeah, cool. Thank you, Travis. I appreciate you jumping in there. So honestly, Dialpad, there's a lot of things that we've rolled into our entire platform, and I could spend all day showing you every little piece of in and out that we offer. But as Michelle mentioned in the slide that I was showing earlier, the TrueCast, we really do try to encompass the voice, the messaging, the meeting platform, the AI that we layer within all of these different all of these different platforms or technologies. We're really trying to roll it all into one, which is the view that we're seeing right here. So this is my Dialpad application. I happen to be accessing it through the web browser, but if you had the desktop app open, it would look just the same. But what this does is it creates a single window for the not only just an end user experience of having one application to manage, one set of credentials, but from an IT perspective, The workload gets much lighter with Dialpad. Just as the end user has one interface, the admin has one interface. You don't have to manage a separate application for the contact center as you do for the UCaaS users. We're rolling all of these pieces of technology into one platform. And you can see that represented in the top left-hand corner here as well. So placing a phone call, sending a message, and then also launching a meeting directly from the application as opposed to going out to your calendar, clicking on the link within the invitation, right? Clicking on all these different items as we get to the meeting. We actually can launch it directly from here. But where I'm going to focus the majority of my time today is actually on our contact center. So Dialpad took a hard look at itself in the mirror a few years ago and realized that, yes, we can do the UCaaS, we can do the instant messaging, we can do the SMS and MMS text messaging, outbound to customers about confirming appointments or getting pictures of whatever they're trying to send in. But the contact center was really where we fell short. And we acquired a couple companies for their technology about 1.5 years ago, and we've already rolled their technologies into Dialpad. And I'm going to demonstrate that here. So as I mentioned before, this single pane of glass, this one view into the platform. Departments come with our UCaaS, just kind of a way of organizing individuals that are everyday users, right? Whether that's a geographic-based location, right? So maybe in different cities, you've got different offices or different teams, but then also role-based. So maybe it's an HR team. Right now, we're in the middle of open enrollment. So we've spun up an HR team that can field calls about open enrollment and our health benefits, right? So we've got these individuals that may be spread across the country, but they're on the same team. So we put them together here. But in the section below here is the call center. And I'm going to spend some time on mine. You're seeing a couple of supervisor functionalities within this view, but just know that our contact center supervisor SKUs are not priced any differently than our normal contact center users. You just have different permission sets that you can apply to different users that need them. But I can see the live calls if there are any going on, which I'm actually going to go ahead and place a call into this call center and show you what a day in the life of the agent might look like. But as this call is connecting, I'd be able to see the hold queue, even as an agent, right, to see how many people are calling in. So then I put myself on duty. I can click answer here. And this call is being recorded. So I do receive that third-party warning to make sure that I'm aware that this call is being recorded. And what happened right here is our real-time transcription, our AI contact center transcript. And this is extremely valuable. It's a very large differentiator for Dialpad. This transcription is layered throughout our meetings platform. It will organize action items and to-do lists for you once a meeting ends. So if you say you're going to follow up with somebody, it'll capture that and it'll assign it to you. So once that meeting ends, you get your list of the action items you said you'd follow up on. But in this case, this is a contact center user. And let's say that this caller had a question about registration for the MTech event today, right? The online registration. What you'll see here on the right side of the screen is what we call AI Assist. So you see it got a notification here, and there was actually a screen pop because I said the words registration. And it noticed this here, it captured this piece of information, and it automatically populated additional information for me about how to register. It even provided the link to the actual page for the registration. So I'm able to create these different action items and screen pops for my agents to provide real-time information for them based on what's actually being said in the conversation. Additionally, if I wanted to talk about, or if the caller wanted to speak to a manager, right? Sometimes customers ask to speak to a manager because things aren't going well. I can actually create alerts as well. So as a supervisor, I'm notified of when those events take place. And you'll see over on the left-hand side that I've got a push notification set up for that specific alert. But while I've got this side AI Assist tab open, I could actually rate this interaction. So as an agent, I could say that was very helpful. Helps my supervisors know what's working, what's not. Maybe they need to sort of redesign these alerts. But if I'm on the phone with somebody and I don't get a real-time assist there, but I've got a question about something else, like they want to know about permissions on how to actually set up Dialpad. I type in the word permission, the AI Assist will go scan multiple sources of unstructured data to capture an answer and provide it back to me on the screen so I can then provide it to the customer that called in. Trying to make this a single call resolution, put as much information at the fingertips of the agents to not have to put the call on hold, to not have to go out to some other escalation method, to make sure that they can actually solve the problems, giving them the tools, right? And creating more of a, contact centers have typically been thought of as cost centers, right? This is where it's kind of a sunk cost. We have to have one, but agents are being asked to do so much more now. And it really has the opportunity to become a profit center for upsells and cross sells, and being able to recognize these scenarios as they're coming up. We can provide real-time information to these agents to then catch those action items as they happen, instead of having to analyze the call after the fact, trying to meet these users where they are and provide the best experience, not only for them, but also for the customers in the long run, so they don't have to make multiple calls in to get their question answered. I know I'm throwing a ton at you all. I think I have 3 minutes left, if I'm not mistaken. Are there any questions or anything else I can show you at this point that might be useful? And John, I'll yield to you as well if there's something I missed. I'm not seeing anything coming up in the chat, so. Absolutely, Microsoft Teams. I'm going to hang up this call for a second. We have 2 ways of actually integrating with Teams, and I'm going to pull up Microsoft Teams right now just to show you what this looks like. One is called direct routing, and that one has very specific requirements from Microsoft as far as what kind of license type you have, whether it's the E3, E5, or the extra $8 add-on license. But come on now. We also have what we call enablement routing, which I'm getting to here in a moment. I wonder if I've got my Teams. I can pull that up very quickly. I like being up against the clock. I love it. I love pressure. All right, there we go. So it's coming up now. So the direct routing integration that we have with Microsoft Teams, you would stay within the Teams dialer. Once again, it can get very complicated depending on the license types that are throughout an organization. If they don't have the right license, you have to upgrade them. But we can integrate this way, which then just allows the users to stay within their native dialer. They don't really know Dialpad is supporting the telephony behind all of the calls they're making, but we can capture all the recordings, all the transcriptions. All that information is still going to be available to you. You just really wouldn't see it within the Teams window. But there's a second one called Dialpad enablement routing, and that does not have any specific license requirements from Microsoft Teams. So enablement routing allows us to just make calls natively within Microsoft Teams. And something went wrong, so I guess they rolled back my permissions. However, what it allows you to do is just place calls within, it becomes a plugin within the side application here. So I'd be able to make calls transparently. I'd get the transcript popping up within the Microsoft Teams window, and I wouldn't have to manage multiple applications. I would literally just have an extra add-on here pinned to the side panel, and I'd be able to place calls, make calls, send text messages, receive text messages. If I'm in a call center, I can receive all of those within Microsoft Teams as well. I'd have the full feature set available to me without having to have Dialpad open somewhere else. It would just plug right in, and you can make and take calls as needed. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much. As you can see, Dialpad is somebody who, and a solution that can help with all things, right? Whether it's contact center, whether it's business voice, they have AI layered on top of all of it. And they're a true CAS solution, truly built in the cloud. And so when we talk about emerging technology really disrupting the space, this is one of the providers that is doing that on the daily. And so we appreciate you guys coming in and sharing a little bit about your organization and your solutions. And thank you for your participation, and we'll move on to the next session.
Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Michelle.
Bye.